shift in the heart failure management.
Yeah.
So the topic is how can we improve the current treatment of heart failure with a reduced ejection fraction.
Okay.
We know the current therapy in heart failure are standard of care, the drugs that decrease the mortality and drugs they are symptomatic. We know cardiac glycoside, digoxin and diuretics are essentially symptomatic. They don't reduce any mortality. Whereas drugs on the left side you see here, ACE inhibitor, ARBs, MRAs, nitrates and hydrals in combination, ivabradine, omega-3 fatty acid, etc., are the disease-modifying drugs and therefore they decrease the mortality. However, we must see, as Dr. Manoria rightly mentioned, heart failure has a high mortality and morbidity in spite of current standard of care. And therefore, the evolution of better and better medication is in the pipeline. Why? Because if you see here, 1 in 4 patients of heart failure gets readmitted in less than 30 days after the discharge, and 1 in 2 patient gets admitted within 60 days after the discharge. So that is the burden of heart failure problem. If you look at here, nearly 17 to 45% of patients admitted to a hospital with heart failure die within 1 year. So it is almost worse than a cancer, and therefore now we talk about 5 year survival like what we talk in malignancy. And despite the evidence-based therapy, whatever is available currently, nearly 2 to 70% of patients die at the time of the initial hospitalization for heart failure. And the average length is about 5 to 10 days of hospital stay. And therefore, heart failure markedly affects the quality of life with lot of mental changes like fear, anxiety, depression being the commonly observed, and the entire family suffers because of this particular reason. We know that sacubitril valsartan, which is called as ARNI, I just want to say AR means valsartan and NI means sacubitril. So it is called ARNI because angiotensin receptor blocker, as shown here, which is in case of ARNI is valsartan, and the sacubitril, which is a pro-drug in the ARNI, is a natriuretic peptide inhibitor. So basically ARNI is a combination of angiotensin receptor blocker valsartan and sacubitril as a drug for natriuretic peptides. And therefore, if you see this combination of sacubitril and valsartan, on one side blocking the effect of angiotensin and the other side inhibiting the metabolism of these vasoactive peptides, which are beneficial for the body. So they are working as a neuromodulator. Till now, till the ARNI drug came in 2016, we were talking about neurohormonal blocker, ACE inhibitor, ARB, MRA, are neurohormonal beta blocker, are neurohormonal blockers, whereas ARNI is a neurohormonal modulator because they modulate the system. This, of course, is one study which has changed the entire paradigm shift of heart failure therapy. In fact, one heart failure trial randomized has changed the guideline recommendation, and that is the beauty of this particular trial, because if you see it is, the trial, is cut short, in 27 months follow-up because of the overwhelming benefit. If you see here, it has been compared to the enalapril 10 milligram BD and sacubitril to start with 100 milligram BD, later 200 milligram BD, and then 1:1 randomization. And if you see here, the trial was altered in 27 months because of the overwhelming benefit. This slide is shown by Dr. Manoria also, but I would like to re-emphasize what ARNI does is the additional 20% benefit over and above ACE inhibitor ARB. So if you look at the angiotensin receptor blocker and ARNI, rather angiotensin receptor blocker and sacubitril, what is called as ARNI, if you see here, this is what is the reduction with the single ACE or ARB. But in addition to that, ARNI produces 20% extra. So you see 38% the reduction which is you get in ARNI. This is slide shown by Dr. Also showed by Dr. Manoria, 20% relative risk reduction in two outcome, primary, which is cardiovascular death and the heart failure hospitalization. And if you look at the heart failure hospitalization outcome. Same ARNI versus enalapril, relative risk reduction, everything is favorable to ARNI, and see the p-value in a very significant, both for emergency hospitalization, total hospitalization for the worsening heart failure, clearly suggesting ARNI is a drug for reduction of cardiovascular death, heart failure hospitalization. And this slide shows the all-cause mortality by 16%. And the beauty is the curve separates right from the very early stage, and that is the beauty of this particular drug. Dr. Manoria did show this slide also, that because of the prevention of sudden death with this ARNI, all these guidelines like AHAS, ACC, even the HRS has mentioned class 1A recommendation to prevent sudden cardiac death. So it is not only for the heart failure or reduction of the cardiovascular the mortality, but even for prevention of sudden cardiac death. That is what the trial has shown here, relative risk reduction of 20%, ARNI versus enalapril. And if you see the guideline in 2017 has clearly said that ARNI is class 1, class of recommendation is 1. Level of evidence, of course, is B because only one randomized trial. But one randomized trial, but the guideline has changed overnight by both ACC and ESC, suggesting how useful is the drug in our practice. Now, the question is, why should I shift stable heart patient to a sacubitril or valsartan, what is called as ARNI? Many times we clinicians think my patient is stable. Should I put this patient on ARNI? And that is a question. If you see, there is nothing like stable heart failure. Dr. Manoria showed this particular slide where there is a gradual deterioration of the heart function, and more importantly, as he mentioned, the cardiorenal. Remember, it is not only the cardiac, it is the renal. In fact, as he mentioned, very provocative and very aggressively in his last slide, that we have to look into this cardiorenal aspect of heart failure, and because more renal worsening, more heart failure. So they go hand in hand. So heart failure is a progressive disease even in a stable patient. This is what sometimes we talk about a stable coronary artery disease and unstable coronary artery disease. And we have to remember it is a progressive disease. And even stable patients are at high risk for recurrent hospitalization. See this particular thing every time, recurrent hospitalization, and then the worsening of the condition, and there is a worsening of the cardiorenal. And if you look at NYHA, class 2 patients are symptomatic. It is not that stable patients are asymptomatic. They do have a symptom, and we have to remember symptoms and the severity of the disease don't go hand in hand. So remember, in heart failure, mild symptom doesn't mean mild disease because it's a progressive disease. And if you see the paradigm heart failure trial, what was shown in this paradigm heart failure trial, nearly 70% patients were stable. Why stable? Because standard of care medical therapy was given. These patients have been on beta blocker, they were on MRA, so standard of care was given, unlike the SOLT trial, which is the enalapril arm. We know that SOLT trial at that time was the enalapril, and that is where the comparative drug used in ARNI or the paradigm trial was with this SOLT trial. There's the enalapril 10 milligram BD. Only 57 patients were stable because that time there were no standard of the care like what we had in heart failure. Now let us see when we can start ARNI. After the stabilization, acute heart failure, when to start? This is another fear we clinicians have got, when to start. And to address that, we have got two trials. Impact of heart failure hospitalization, as I showed here, gradual deterioration of the cardiorenal function and gradual progression of heart failure and increasing in the mortality, that at the end of 5 years, more than 50% mortality. And that is why it is more worse than malignancy, because in malignancy, we always talk about 5-year survival. And that's why heart failure is almost compared to the malignancy. When to initiate this ARNI in a hospitalized patient, in the ward, at discharge, or at first follow-up? Answer is when the patient is hemodynamically stable. And this was addressed by two trials. One is the Pioneer HF trial, and second thing is the transition trial. Both have used this drug pre-discharge and post-discharge. And then at the end, it was shown When you use this drug pre-discharge versus the post-discharge, both the primary and secondary endpoints are comparable. So there is no fear. So ARNI can be started safely and effectively in the hospital as in the outpatient setting. So I would like to impress upon all delegates and everyone that don't get scared of using ARNI in a hospitalized patient. Moment patient is hemodynamically stable, we can start. If you are using ACE inhibitor or ARBs, angiotensin receptor blocker, there is no worry of using ARNI in such patient. It is not like be giving beta blocker when patient is having, like a congested state or, because of its negative inotropic action. Whereas ARNI, if at all, got a positive inotropic action because of the effect on reducing preload and afterload. Now, can I initiate ARNI in a low BP patient? This is another scare what we have. So to address that, we have got in the paradigm heart failure trial. Of course, symptomatic hypertension was more with the ARNI versus the enalapril. But when you see the discontinuation for the adverse event, both were comparable, so it was not statistically significant. And the response to hypertension event hospitalization was better with ARNI than with the enalapril. If you see the p-value for both 0.001 as well as in symptomatic, it's a significant finding. So patient with the hypertension benefited similarly for primary endpoint with the ARNI as compared to those without a hypotensive event. If you see the hazard ratio 0.81 and 80, so no worry, but start a small dose and gradually build up. Remember, ARNI we are using for a chronic, the therapy to reduce the mortality, morbidity, recurrent hospitalization. Is not a drug on a first day or a second day. Here we are using with the idea or objective of reducing the morbidity, mortality. So at the end of 3-4 days or 5 days before discharge, patient can be easily given. In fact, hypotension is not only with the ARNI, it is a concern with every RAS blocker. If you see ACE inhibitor, if you see ARB, if you use beta blocker, everywhere there is a problem of hypertension, and therefore you have to use very judiciously with a very small dose, and you start with very build up. Now, if you see the ARNI, whether less than 100 or more than 100, see the difference. ARNI clearly scores for the primary endpoints, and the same thing is shown here at all systolic blood pressure value. ARNI scores over enalapril. Now let us see how to manage hypertension with the ARNI. This is important for us to know. When initiating therapy or during dose titration with the ARNI, blood pressure should be monitored routinely, and we have to see that if hypertension occurs, we need to adjust the dose of diuretic. We have to use drug like maybe patient receiving CCB or some antihypertensive medication which are not life-saving. You can cut down or we can stop that, and also treat for other causes of hypertension. It could be hypovolemia. Remember, heart failure doesn't mean all the time is hypervolemic. Patient may be having intravascular volume depletion, patient may be having vomiting, diarrhea. So you replace the volume and blood pressure comes out. So if hypotension persists despite such measures, in spite of these corrective measures, think of reducing the dosage of ARNI, gradually start this, maybe temporarily we can discontinue, but permanent discontinuation therapy is usually not required. Our own personal experience for last 3 years, ever since molecule is available, that is very good. If at all any problem, just temporarily discontinue and then start with a very small dose and then gradually build up the dose. And that is why the dosage schedule, what is mentioned, one tablet is about 100 milligram twice daily with or without food. And they usually say 100 milligram BD to start, spend about 2 to 4 weeks and then up titrate. But up titrating 200 milligram BD is not that easy in our patient, and in a special population like in patient with renal dysfunction, EGFR less than 30, or a drug naive patient for ARNI, first heart failure patient, he is not on any ACE or ARB, or there then possibly you start small dose, even 50 milligram BD. In fact, very occasionally we have started 50 milligram further down, that means 25 milligram BD. There is no hurry to the build up. It's a upfront drug for the long term benefit. We are not looking into like an antibiotic immediate effect. Start with 25 milligram BD for a few days, build up the dose, and then go up, rather than inviting trouble with starting very high dose. Start small dose, go slow. So just to summarize few key highlights, as Dr. Manoria rightly mentioned, Heart failure is, dangerous disease. It increases the mortality and hospitalization, and also the quality of life of the patient, and quality of the life of the quality of life, and the quality of life of the family. Mind you, it's a family problem. It is not an individual patient with a recurrent cost of admission, etc. Arni is a first-class drug containing both, NEP inhibitor, natriuretic peptide inhibitor, and the ARBs. It has demonstrated significant 20% reduction, as we showed in the paradigm trial, and it shows double the effect on CV mortality as compared to ACE inhibitor ARBs. It improves the quality of life. Also, it improves the clinical progression of heart failure, coronary events, etc. Plus, it's a renoprotective. Remember, in a renal dysfunction, to start with, you have to be careful. Over time, the creatinine improves, the GFR improves, and it is very well tolerable drug. To me personally, Arni is a very good tolerability profile, and class 1 recommendation just on based on one trial, that is a paradigm trial, and that is why the topic is paradigm shift in heart failure, Dr. Mahapatra. That is Arni. That is what ACC ESC guideline, replacing the ACE and ARB. And my personal say, what Dr. Manoria has said, that four pillar approach today. That means MRA, beta blocker, RNA, and dapagliflozin is the way forward. I won't say ACE and ARB should be replaced by using RNA in an established heart failure. And this RNA has the potential to change the current paradigm shift in the management of heart failure with a reduced ejection fraction. Of course, dapagliflozin or other SGLT inhibitor Dr. Chopra is going to address. With this, I would like to thank you for patient hearing, and I would like to thank again the World Heart Failure, the organization, for giving me this opportunity.